This is CBT News special coverage of the 2023 NADA show.
We're joined by Joe Geroge, who's the president of Mobility Solutions for Cox Automotive. We're also joined by Lea Malloy, who is assistant vice president of EV Battery Solutions for Cox Mobility. Folks, thanks so much for joining us on the show today. So let me start with you, Lea, if I can. What's your focus at this year's show?
It has everything to do with preparing for the EV transformation, which is here, but I've got a ton of advice for dealers on how to set up. But it's really a message about the ecosystem and all the interrelation of supply, demand, and economics.
Yeah, for sure. And Joe, what does your work in the EV battery services fit? How does that fit into the overall holistic strategy?
Well, I think our industry is electrifying to a certain extent, and Cox Automotive cuts across, purchase,
right,
ownership, parts, service, and we want to make sure that our dealers, our OEMs are ready for this electrification future.
Yeah. Do you think they are?
I think they're pragmatic business people, and they're going to move as the money moves.
Sure.
And but I think over the next few decades, it's certainly one of the most important things happen to our industry.
Yeah, no question about it. I spoke to one dealer, and he said, everybody's getting so excited about the concern that dealers have about these batteries not lasting, and there's got to be charging stations. He said, did we all forget dial-up? And look at where computers are today. So this is the very infant stage, isn't it?
That is a great analogy.
Yeah, because now you've got your whole computer right here, but we had these big, huge computers that we had to deal with. So Lea, can you share an overview of EV battery services you offer?
Sure. Our focus is in end-to-end life cycle management of that battery pack. So everything to do with extending the first life of that battery pack, which makes environmental and economic sense. We don't want to go to the earth to mine new metals, and repairing a pack is much more cost effective than replacing it.
Right. And that's a big concern that consumers have, right? I mean, that's...
You bet. And that hasn't changed for, since we've been studying consumer behavior, but the three main barriers are cost of the pack itself to repair, replace, how long is it going to last and hold my charge,
right?
How fast will that pack degrade, and then thirdly, access to charging infrastructure.
Yeah. How far do you think we are out from seeing a 100,000-mile battery? I mean, is that even feasible?
Anything's feasible. It's just, is it commercializable?
Right.
But and my hope too is we can train the industry to really accept enough mileage to get them day to day where they need to go.
Right.
And you don't always need the biggest battery pack to do that.
Yeah. So tell me more about the EV battery health solutions that you've got.
So we are leading the way with EV battery health. At my time at Manheim, we saw a real opportunity to drive confidence and transparency around that used EV purchase. So we have both a proprietary diagnostic tool and a patented battery health algorithm that speaks directly to the vehicle, and we're presenting battery health scores to our buyers across a growing number of Manheims so that we can again drive the trust and transparency around that used EV sale.
Yeah, for sure. So Joe, any final thoughts? You've been in this industry for a long time, and a lot of people look to you to say, tell us what's the future hold? I mean, there's a lot of vendors out here, over 500 that are all talking to dealers about all of the different needs that are out there, especially as we find ourselves in a digital environment on the sales process side. But in terms of mobility, what do you tell dealers?
Yeah, I don't think there's a more exciting time in the automobile industry than right now. I was blessed to see the internet come along in the late 1990s.
Yeah,
seems like eons ago.
Yeah,
and this electrification and the evolution of digital retailing and how consumers interact with our dealers all are moving really fast, and it's just a really exciting time. Plus the technology of the vehicles is going to evolve even more rapidly, which makes it a more interesting sale ownership experience for the consumers.
That's right. You guys must be two very busy people working on this. I would imagine you're getting pulled in many different directions because you're kind of at the forefront of this entire EV revolution or evolution as we hear, right?
Yes, it's it's going to take time. The U.S. car park's pretty big.
Yeah.
And, we're going to be more and more successful as the products get better.
Sure.
Electric products get better, but the internal combustion engine is not going anywhere anytime soon. That's for sure.
What's your prediction if we were sitting here and it was NADA 2033? What percentage of the buyers out there do you think would be buying or driving, I should say, EVs?
Well, we know that that's increasing. Today, if you own an EV, you're 94% likely to purchase another. And we also know today that 54% of buyers are considering an EV. So pan out to 2033, I would say almost everyone has
Really?
EVs on their mind.
So in the next 10 years, we're going to say goodbye to the...
Well, they still play a role, right? But
Yeah.
I think in that purchase consideration,
Right.
my vision is it's less about combustion versus electric and more about what car meets my needs.
Right. So it's really important that dealers focus on this very issue. This is not, I spoke to one dealer and he said, oh, it's not that big a deal. It's not, it might be maybe 5%, 10% of our market over the course of the next, 5 or 6 years. But the experts say, no, he's wrong. It's going to be a much bigger play.
One thing I know about the U.S. automobile dealer is we're a resilient lot,
Right.
and we are opportunistic. And what I would look at it as an opportunity for the future.
Sure.
And it's going to take some investment, but it's more about a mindset change to help educate consumers on what are the difference between an internal combustion engine and an electric vehicle.
Sure.
So that they're informed, and that's what all of our research points to. That's what consumers want out of our dealers is education.
That's right, no question. And Cox Mobility is on it. So Joe Geroge and Lea Malloy, thank you so much for joining me on the show. Very much appreciated. Have a good show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching our special coverage of the 2023 NADA show. Delivering the news dealers count on for 10 years. Subscribe today and join thousands of other automotive professionals. CBT News, 10 years strong.